One thing else I wanted to explore was this rise and surge of content online which is trying to help people self-diagnose, particularly things like ADHD, Tourette's, mental health issues, particularly anxiety and depression. And I'd love to get your take on why do you think this is happening? Or why do people conform to this self-diagnostic space? Yeah, just want to get your insight on that, it'd be really valuable.
I think, well, I mean, I have a few theories. I think it really kind of comes from that sort of medicalization trend that we're seeing, and medicalization being, this way that we frame kind of everyday, ordinary kind of things in our lives as a medical problem and therefore needing medical solutions. And I think, with the way things are now that, we've got such, busy, chaotic lives, and a lot of us are under a lot of strain. And there's this kind of need to find a solution to those various things that we are struggling with. And by medicalizing them, we then kind of have this tangible way of, okay, well, I can treat it in this way. And so I think we're seeing a lot of this kind of sense of people going online and talking about, various different things that they struggle with, whether that's kind of attention span, whether that's, emotions, and positioning them as medical problems, because then it offers people kind of a solution where perhaps, otherwise it's just this, what do I do now? What do I do with all of this kind of chaos and confusion?
I find it such a paradox that whilst we're scrolling social media, we're getting fed a lot of content, and probably because I research and I'm interested in this as well, I get a lot of this type of content, which is like, these are all the symptoms for ADHD or anxiety, depression, or lots of different things. And I'm like, it's often talking about a limited attention span whilst I'm on social media scrolling. I just find that paradox and dichotomy of like, you're diagnosing my poor attention span on a reel or like a TikTok short. It's just in and of itself such a fascinating space when the platform economics are feeding and serving us and tailoring us that type of content, and they're making it incredibly digestible and accessible, and it's in these lovely little short videos that is just about anyone's attention span now. And so I just, in and of itself, it's such a paradox. What do you think is the most harmful type of content when it comes to impacting our health online?
Gosh, very good question.
Sorry.
I mean, I do think the self-diagnosis aspect is incredibly problematic in the sense that we can obviously really problematize ourselves and create a lot of anxiety around, what's wrong with me, I need help, I need support. When, as you said, the platform is engineered in a way to kind of elicit those kind of responses, elicit those kind of behaviors from us. I mean, the amount of times I can kind of just sit scrolling on Instagram for hours on end is, unbelievable. And that's, not a me problem. That is the way the platform is designed to kind of get you to, be constantly scrolling and constantly kind of engaged with that. So I think, that's one of the big dangers. And of course, there is the misinformation that underscores that. Of course, when you start self-diagnosing, then you start kind of looking for self-prescriptions, ways to kind of fix yourself when you maybe don't necessarily need to fix yourself. And of course, if you're self-diagnosing and, you reach out to a health professional and they say, there's nothing wrong with you, and of course, as we've talked about, you have this kind of distrust already. There's this kind of very widespread distrust now, where self-diagnosis is becoming increasingly legitimized. So then you're not getting answers, you're not getting solutions, you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to start looking at wellness culture.
And they give you answers and solutions. So they're going, you are right, this validates your experience, your experiential kind of patient lens on it is, oh, okay, that's endorsed, that feeds back, so they must be right, I must have this thing.